I think what you're touching on is a criticism I've had for kind of cults and people who tend to follow a guru or someone who's clearly got like a lot of wisdom and knowledge, but they've gained that wisdom and knowledge and maybe presenting a new system through years of study and through years of their own exploration. And then the crowd that gathers around that individual, they're only hearing the kind of end product of that journey. And they're quite often just sort of unthinkingly repeating almost the rhetoric. They get this language, this rhetoric, without having to do the work of actually exploring the foundations of where that rhetoric came from. And then they're just propagating this rhetoric without really understanding why it's true or why it makes sense. And maybe it has merit in its kind of capacity to provide transformation, especially in terms of like spiritual gurus. Like there's legitimate experiences that people have that, are transformative. But the kind of discernment is missing.
Yeah.
And even in the sense of like postmodernity, there's this, all truths are partially true, or like there's this desire to, which I think is a great thing, like the kind of comparative religious projects or comparative whatever, insert whatever here, is really good for learning about different information. But then there's a discernment piece, and I think what you rightly pointed out is like a methodological piece as well. Like how did these people come to their conclusions?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, again, it's like learning how to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to do the work of putting information, seemingly disparate information together to make something make sense. And that's not a skill that many people are teaching.
Well, I think that's the kind of skill you can only get from that guru if you are a direct student rather than a hanger-on or someone who consumes the content, so to speak. Or I think that it's much more laborious to teach the how than the what. The what can be assimilated quick. The how is like a painful process that often requires years and many mistakes. And the job of the teacher in that respect is to kind of help the student forge their own path. But unless there's that personal relationship where you start to realize, hey, this is just a human being, this is not some kind of someone over and above me. This is a teacher, my teacher, but he's just a human being, and he could be wrong, and I've seen him be wrong, and my job, and I think this is, can't remember the exact quote, but it's kind of, the duty of the student is to surpass the master,